visible. Just tell me whether it is okay. Shall we continue? Is PPT okay? Audio video okay? No PPT. One minute. Is it visible now? PPT visible? Audio video? Okay. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. So last class we were discussing regarding Indo-US nuclear deal. Okay. See, India is a nuclear weapon state, de facto nuclear weapon state. 5 minutes. No. So I will see until all you people are ready. I will just recap what we have discussed last class. Okay. See, the point is India is a de facto nuclear weapon country. De facto means by fact we are having nuclear weapon, but we are an unrecognized nuclear weapon state, and we are all not party to NPT treaty and CTBT. Okay, nuclear non-proliferation treaty, 1970 treaty and 1996 treaty. Okay, so and not only that, in energy we have restriction. No country who have nuclear related material will share the nuclear related material with India. Okay, so because energy people will not allow. And in US itself there is one act is there. That act is called US Atomic Energy Act 1954. This prohibits US government not to have nuclear trade with India. So domestically US is having a restriction. Internationally also we have a restriction. So in these circumstances, US said that US will help India in developing civil nuclear technology. And for doing this, US have to do two things. US have to modify the domestic legislation, and it has to get us a special waiver in energy. And then what India have to do is, first we have to segregate our nuclear facilities into civil and military facilities. We can keep our military facilities separately, but that means if you are going to access any nuclear related material from any country, means we can use it only in the civil facilities. That civil facilities will be subject to international safeguard, that is IAEA restriction. And apart from this, we should pass a nuclear liability legislation. That means in case of accident, who will take care? So like that, you have to address all this issue in our local law, and the local law should be consistent with international standards. What is that international standard? 3 standards are there, but the third standard is very, very important, because the third standard has the comprehensively the provisions of the previous 2 conventions also. Okay. So the thing is, we have to pass a nuclear liability legislation in lines with the CAC Convention 1997, Convention on Supplementary Compensation of Nuclear Damage. So what the CAC Convention 1997 says, it says that the supplier companies who are supplying all this reactor and technology will never take care. Okay, they won't take any responsibility. Is voice not audible, students? Is voice audible? Yes, audible. So Deepa, you just check on your side. Okay. So we have to pass a nuclear liability legislation, and this legislation clearly should say that it should be according to CAC Convention 1997, which says that the suppliers will not take any responsibility in case of any accident. Means they won't pay for the damages. They won't take any responsibility. That means that means they are asking us to buy a product without any guarantee warranty. So this is the understanding. Yes, it's okay. Okay, so without any guarantee they are giving it. So this is the understanding. So but there is an international liability fund is available, but this fund can be accessible only after meeting certain conditions that we are going to discuss today. Okay, and finally, US bypassed the domestic act, the domestic law, the 1954 Act, through this Henry Hyde Act, and US also successfully gave us a waiver in energy. Voice not audible. Is voice clear, students? Yes. See, other students doesn't have problem. Deepa, on your side, you have to check it. Okay. So I will send her a message. Okay. So finally, we have to pass a. See, that means the energy waiver was given to India. US successfully persuaded all the 48 energy members, and NSG finally gave us a waiver. And IAEA also approved this. IAEA said that here afterwards, IAEA will come and check Indian nuclear reactors, and it will ensure that India will not use it for military purpose. And finally, the 123 Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement was signed in 2000. So this was the last discussion we did. Whether we need this deal, yes, we need this deal because we need energy, we need clean energy, and we need more energy. That's why we are going for this. And although we are paying high price to US-based reactors, we are going for this US reactor. Means why? Means because if US is not helping India, means nobody can help India. So this was the position. So that's why India went for this deal. Okay. And not only that, the biggest advantage for India is world countries did not ask India to disband our nuclear weapon. They just said that if I am giving anything new, means you should not use it for military purpose. Okay, so we are allowed to retain our nuclear weapon. That means world country literally accepted India as a nuclear weapon country. Why? Means because from India, India did not spread this technology to anyone. Although we did not sign the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, we did not proliferate this technology to anyone. India have a clear history. That's why world country now accept India as a literally accept. Although it is not official, unofficially they have accepted India. They feel that world countries feel that nuclear weapon, that means nuclear technology in India is safe. And on the other side, India also have pledged that India hereafterwards will not test nuclear weapon. If India tests nuclear weapons, all the countries again they will again reimpose the energy sanctions on India. And what US is getting? For US this is a business. Number one. Number two, US got a close ally to counter China. And US also have brought one particular ally of Russia to its side. So this is US victory. So US claims moral victory because for a very long time India claimed that India will not test India will test nuclear weapon, we will not sign NPT. But by signing this deal, India was restricted itself that it will not test nuclear weapon. Okay, because of the civil nuclear technology. So this is the victory for US. So up to this only we have discussed last class. Now we will move forward. So now you see, India finally passed the India's Nuclear Liability Act. This is the India's Nuclear Liability Act. It is called CL&D Act or India's Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act. It is the local legislation India is passing. Okay. So what is this act? What is this act is all about? So this act makes sure that the victims of the nuclear accident can get quick compensation. Suppose any nuclear accident is there, people got affected, means the victims will get quick compensation. So this is what CL&D Act says. Okay, so that means you see, in 1980s Bhopal gas tragedy was there. No, this was the example. By the time there was no liability provisions were there. In case of accident, who is going to take care? No such provision was available before 1985. Okay. See, after that only the public liability legislations were passed. One such legislation is this legislation. So if India is going to buy nuclear reactors technology from other country, install it and run it, means if suppose any mishap or accident is there, nuclear radiations or there, people get killed or affected, means according to CL&D Act, you have to note that 1,500 crore amount money is readily available according to CL&D Act. It is subject to review depending upon the size of the reactor, the capacity of the reactor, depending upon the time, the value of the money will change. But anyway, basically in 2010, India passed the CL&D Act such that India will have 1,500 crore as reserve money, a liability money. That means if any accident is there, means the supplier companies, operator companies, and the mentioned people, they will contribute for the 1,500 crore, and immediately government will take the 1,500 crore and it will compensate the victims. So this is the arrangement. But what happened is when India passed the CLND Act, the supplier companies were not happy because the CLND Act is not consistent with the CSE Convention 1997. Because what CSE Convention said, CSE Convention clearly said that supplier will not take responsibility. But our CLND Act makes the suppliers also responsible. Along with operators, the supplier companies who supplied this reactors and technology also should share that means share the responsibility. They also should contribute for the 1,500. So because the CLND Act is asking the suppliers responsible, the supplier companies are not ready to send the reactor and technology to India. So this is the reason why even after 10 years, no reactor came here except Russia. Then what happened to Russia? See, before the CLND Act itself, Russia came to India and installed the reactor. See, actually, we have one Russian nuclear power plant in India, that is Kudamkulam in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so actually in 1980s itself, when the old USSR itself was wanted to share this nuclear technology with India because it will defy US. No, it is the only country who can defy US. But what happened is Soviet Union collapsed because of its own reason. And after that, Russia took over Soviet Union. Russia succeeded Soviet Union. But what happened is Russia was also wanted to continue this Kudamkulam reactor and finish the Kudamkulam reactor. But Russia by that time was weak because it was in transition. That means it was in political transition and also it was in economic transition. Okay, from communism now it is moving towards free economy. So that's why Russia was unable to help. And the energy waiver also restricted Russia to help India. That's why the Kudamkulam reactor was half built by Russia in 1990s itself. So that means it was not completed. But in 2008, when NSG gave us a waiver after India signed a nuclear deal with the US, before US supply reactor, India and Russia, they sealed the deal. They signed the deal and they completed the deal. And Russia came to India and finished the Kudamkulam reactor. Now today 4 units are running. And for the Russian reactor, see, because the Russian reactors came to India before CLND Act 2010, before this act came into force. So ultimately, we did not made the Russian companies responsible in case of accident. That means for Russia, we did not make them responsible. But for other countries who are going to supply a reactor after 2010, the CLND Act is being passed. All the companies have to take responsibility. And India also said that Russia also have to take responsibility if here afterwards Russia is going to supply any reactor. Okay. See, the Russian reactor came to India. That means all the agreements were signed before CLND Act 2010 was passed. That means no restriction was there on Russia. For Russia, we gave a waiver because in 2008, 9 and 10 and all, there was a severe power crisis was there in India. So you might have known daily 2 hours up to 4 hours, morning, evening, no power was there. Okay, you can ask the question at the end of the class. Okay, if any audio video problem is there, just you contact me. Okay, otherwise you ask all your questions. Just note down. See, the point is, see, CLND Act was passed in 2010. That means since the act is passed, then only we have to adhere to that particular act. Before this act, see, this act only makes the suppliers responsible. So in 2008, 9 and until 2010 to the CLND Act is passed. During that particular period itself, Russia dealt with India and Russia came to Kudamkulam and supplied reactors. So Russian reactors need not take responsibility. But after CLND Act 2010 is being passed, okay, that means in Constitution you will be reading no ex post facto law. So this is one principle. So today government is passing one particular law, means it will be applicable from today's date only. It won't be applicable retrospective. That means backwards. That is the understanding. See, this is an important fundamental right. Why? Means because see tomorrow government doesn't likes you. For example, what you are doing is you are sitting in a tea shop and you are discussing politics and you are criticizing the government. But according to that, according to our constitution, according to Article 19, we have every right to speak and express. Unless it is not harming others, we can speak anything. Okay, so you see, that means all rights are subject to reasonable restriction. You can't do whatever you want because you are having fundamental right. That doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want. Okay, you can enjoy your fundamental right as long as it is not affecting the fundamental rights of others. So this is the condition. So according to fundamental right, according to Article 19, everybody have right to speak, right to speech expression, thought expression in speech. Okay, so if I think anything means I can think anything, no one can restrict me. I can express anything in writing or I can speak anything. It is my right to freedom of speech and expression. But that doesn't mean that I can do anything I want. So the point is, if I am speaking something, two community people are going to fight each other and kill each other, means those kind of things are restricted. I can't speak against the sovereignty of the country, but I can criticize the government. Government policy is not correct. Government is not doing enough. Like that, I can pass statements. No issue. It's not a problem because according to 19, I have the right. Every Indian have that particular. See, suppose government doesn't like this, means government cannot do anything. So today, government is passing a law that whoever in a tea shop is criticizing the government will be arrested and hanged. Like that, today they are passing on law. Means because yesterday I was speaking there in the tea shop, that doesn't mean that yesterday they can come and arrest me and do that and punish me. No. So this law will be applicable from today, from this point only. Here afterwards, I am doing anything against the law, means I will be punished. So you can understand. So no ex post facto law. Ex post facto law. So this you will read it in your constitution. Like that, CLND Act was passed in 2010 on one particular date. From that date only, this law will be applicable, not before that particular date. So today putting the law and you are applying the law for yesterday means it won't be applicable. So based on that, CLND Act was passed in 2010 and India said that here afterwards, whoever is going to supply a nuclear reactor, you have to note that in case of accident, they should also take responsibility. That means they should also contribute for the 1,500 crore. That means they also have to contribute for the victim, particularly if it is based on manufacturing defect or technological defect. So the manufacturer have to take responsibility. Then how come these people can hide behind the CSC convention? Because CSC convention clearly says that they will never take responsibility. So they are dictating terms. We desperately need nuclear reactors and technology. So they are dictating, if you want means you buy it, I won't give you any guarantee. Otherwise don't buy it. Like that they are demanding. So the bargain is very hard on their side. It is favoring their side. So this is the problem. See, already I said last class, there are three parties are there in CLND. That means according to CLND, the supplier company, operator company, and the customers. The same customers, if there is an accident, means they will become victims. So the CLND Act describes the relationship between suppliers, operators, and victims in case of nuclear accident. Any nuclear accident is there in the future, means it is staying the relationship. Supplier companies means in this case it is US companies. Operator means it is always an Indian company only. In India, nuclear technology is handled by government only, government sector. NPCL, Nuclear Power Corporation India Limited, which is a government company, public company, which is directly under the aegis of Prime Minister. Prime Minister controls that particular department. Okay. See, in India yearbook in chapter 3 under polity, you have at the end you have one particular data. Which department comes under which ministry? That you should check it. In the original yearbook, it is there. You just check it. It is available in the net. Okay. Which department comes under which ministry? For example, I will tell you one example. Yesterday, one student was asking, pharmaceutical sector comes in which ministry? everybody will strike that it is coming under health department, etc. No, it is not comes under health ministry. It is coming under chemical and fertilizer ministry. So like that you have to check it. Okay, so like one maybe question may come from this particular area. Okay, last time another question came. Okay, so like that. So anyway, so the point is the NPCIL handles India. In Indian case, NPCIL is the operator company, an Indian company. Give money to the suppliers and buy the reactors and technology, install the reactor here in India, and NPCIL only will operate that particular reactor, produce electricity and supply it to the people of India. Okay, so supplier company is a foreign company, operator company is an Indian company, victims means Indians. In case of accident means the suppliers and the operators and victims can claim compensation from the suppliers. So this is what CL&A Act 2010 says. That means the supplier have to compensate the company, the operator company, and also the victims. So supplier companies are not ready to give compensation. So this is the problem. This is the reason no country except Russia sent their reactors. Okay, so this is what happening. And particularly in the CL&A Act, two important provisions are there. The problematic provision, which is raised by the problems raised by the supplier companies. One is section 17B. This is called right to recourse. Right to recourse means right to restart. See, for example, today NPCIL is paying a heavy money, a big money to US company, and US company is sending that particular reactor to India. So after a week, the reactor blows up because of manufactured defect. Who have to take the responsibility? The supplier company, they gave faulty equipment. So NPCIL can claim compensation from the suppliers using this provision called right to recourse, and they can restart the industry because NPCIL is a loss for NPCIL. No? So this is said in 17B. The operator can claim compensation from the suppliers. So this is section 17. And one more section is there. This section is section 46. This says that the victims can sue both suppliers and operators. Because of these two people, only victims are now suffering. No? So the victims can claim compensation from both operators and suppliers. That means again, suppliers have to give compensation to the victims. So the suppliers are telling these two provisions, section 17B and section 46, is not in line with CSE Convention 1997. So they want these two sections to be scrapped. Then only the suppliers are telling we will provide you reactors. So if you are not scrapping these two provisions, means we won't supply the reactors. See how things are working in US, that we have to check. No, in US, the supplier company, operator companies are all private companies in terms of US. But if there is an accident in US, means both suppliers and operators are liable to the people. But here, when we are victims, the suppliers are telling we won't take responsibility. That means the same suppliers, when they supply the reactor to US and the US people become victim because of accident, the suppliers are responsible. They have to pay the fine. They have to pay the compensation. But the suppliers are telling when they are trying to sell outside US, they are telling we won't take responsibility. If you want to buy it, otherwise you go. Like that, the suppliers are putting restriction. So they doesn't want these two provisions. So this is the problem. So they want these two provisions in CL&A Act 2010 to be scrapped. This is the reason why no country have supplied us reactors except Russia. Okay. Now all the suppliers are telling you scrap these two provisions. We won't take any responsibility. Then only we will provide you reactors and technology. So this is what all the Western countries suppliers are doing. Okay, these two are the two main issues that has to be addressed in CL&A Act 2010. See, actually, when CL&A Act 2010 was passed, Congress was the ruling government and BJP was the opponent. And the communist people who were partners of Congress and the BJP who were in the opposition, they only pressurized the Congress government in parliament to pass this kind of laws. But now what happened is Congress is in the opposite side. BJP is the ruling government. Now BJP is under pressure to pass this particular, to solve this problem. Okay. Now you see, there are other issues are there, but these issues which are mentioned here is not the problem of suppliers. This is our own problem. Okay, our country's problem. Okay, raised by some of our MPs in the parliament during the discussion. One, it says that the total liability time to claim is only 10 years. That means in 2021, there is one accident is there, means within 10 years, all the claims have to be filed. They have to, that means damage is there. No, so some people, if any accident is there, some people become victim, they want compensation, means they have to file the application before 10 years. So for example, before 2020, now it is 2020. Before 2030, everybody have to claim the compensation. If nobody is that means if somebody is trying to file the compensation, the application after 10 years, that means after 2030, it won't be entertained. Everybody have to claim it before 10 years. If you are a victim, means tell it before 10 years. Otherwise, no compensation. This is CLND Act 2000. This is a problem. Why? Means because this is not a rail accident or a road accident. Immediately you will feel the effect. We may get damage, bodily damage, hands, sometimes some lifetime permanent disability will be there. So easily we will know, immediately we will know what is the consequence of this. But this is nuclear radiation. See, just imagine a couple who are affected by this nuclear radiation or having a child after 10 years. Okay. A couple who is affected by nuclear radiation, Article Act section number 18. See, Constitution we used to say it as article. For all laws we used to say it as section. Section 18 of CLND Act 2000. It says that the compensation claim have to be done within 10 years. After that, no, they won't entertain it. So the biggest question is, a couple who is affected by this nuclear radiation or having a child after 10 years, the child is born in the 11th, 12th or 13th year, and the child is born with birth defect because of this nuclear radiation, because it will affect the next generation also. If we are affected by nuclear radiation, means it is going to affect the next generation also. The child is a victim of this nuclear radiation, but the child cannot claim compensation. You can understand? So these are all some loopholes. And one more section, section 35 says that the responsible person will undergo trial in nuclear damage claims commission. Okay, not under civil court. Commission means it is a tribunal. TRIBUNAL. See, tribunals are semi-courts, quasi-judicial courts, administrative courts. See, in court, the judicial person, judge will preside it. But in a tribunal, judges also will be there, non-judicial people also will be there. The department heads also will be there. Can you understand? Experts also will be there. So for departmental issues and all, first you have to apply to the, see, tomorrow you become an IAS officer or IPS officer. So the political party who is ruling, it is taking vengeance on you because you are not going in lines with them. So they are dismissing you, they are suspending you. So where you have to file a case, appeal this, you have to go for the tribunal. The tribunal only this case will be there. Tribunal will give over. And you can appeal after tribunal to the High Court or Supreme Court, depending upon whether it is a central government tribunal or state government tribunal. Okay. So departmental cases, improvement, increments, promotions. See, you are the next, for the next promotion, you are in the seniority, but government is favoring another person. So you have to go and file a case in tribunal that you are supposed to become the officer, that higher rank officer, but your post has been given to some other person. Like that, you have to go and file a case in tribunal only. So tribunal, judiciary, non-judiciary people also will be there. Departmental head, the senior most IAS officer, IPS officer will be there. Who is the head of that particular department. And the judiciary officer also will be there. You can appeal this to High Court and Supreme Court. That is different. So this nuclear, if any accident is there, if you want to file a case against them, means suppliers or operators, you have to file a case in tribunal, not in civil court. Court is safe because court is powerful in India. Okay. So why means because you can't easily tamper the judges. Even sometimes people tamper the judges. Okay. They bribe the judges and they get the judgment of what they want. If this is the case with court itself, means tribunal is very easy to tamper. Senior officers means you can negotiate with them some bargain, give them some bribe, and then you can change the verdict. Easily it is possible. So tribunal, we will get quick remedy, but it is not it may or may not be judicious. But civil court, you will get the judgments very lately only. It will drag, but mostly it is safe for the victims. Okay, so victims are not safe in tribunal, but they are more safe in civil court. That doesn't mean that tribunals are always bad. No, I'm not telling like that. Compared to tribunal, courts are safe. That is the idea. Because court means you can't easily go and negotiate with the judge, but you can easily go and negotiate with an officer. That's the understanding. So this is the another provision, and a lot of PIL, public interest litigation. Public interest litigation means podunala valakku. Okay, that means in the because it is harming the general public. In the interest of the public, you can go and file a case. Normally, if you wanted to file a case in court, means you have to prove that you are directly a victim of that particular issue. If you are not victim, means then what they will do is they will remove you. Okay, they will not accept that particular case. Okay, so you have to that means in judiciary they call it as locus standi. I am a party to that. I am a victim of that. Because this injustice has been happened, I became a victim. It is affecting me. Then only court will adjudicate and then take that particular case. But public interest litigation, it is not required that you should be a victim of that. Suppose in another part of the state, one environmental degradation is there, one particular company is emitting a poisonous gas, or the drainage, that means the sewage which it is emitting as the that means the output of that particular industry is harming the environment, river, means you from here you can file a case because it affects the general public. It is not required that you should be the direct victim of that particular that injustice thing that is being happened. In the interest of someone, you can also file. That is called public interest litigation. But if you are going and filing PIL in a that means without any logic, means then what they will do is they will fine you. Okay, you will be charged. You will be punished. The court can do that only for vital things. Only if it affects the general public, you have to go and file. So PIL has been filed because government is now implementing this. That means we wanted to produce this electricity through nuclear reactors. Now only Indian government is investing heavily in this particular reactor. When many countries when they are announcing that they are slowly they are what they're doing is they have announced the date for phasing out of this nuclear technology, because nuclear technology is a very harmful technology. See, actually in 2009 in Japan there was one nuclear reactor called in a place called Fukushima was there. Just you can check after the class, Fukushima accident. It is a civil accident because of some earthquake. There was a leak in Fukushima in Japan. The people got alarmed. So Japan is a hi-fi country in terms of technology. If they can't handle or safeguard the nuclear reactor from earthquake, most of the whether it is Kalpakkam or Kudangkulam, it is in the Bay of Bengal. It is in the near the beach. If any tsunami comes or earthquake comes, means then how India is going to safeguard our nuclear reactor? So safety concerns are there. So based on right to life, people have filed. Chernobyl disaster was in USSR. I'm telling about this. That was during Cold War period. Okay, so whether in that even in that particular reactor, some military equipments may be there, but we don't know. But in Fukushima is clearly a civil technology, and Japan is a hi-fi country, but yet it was affected by that earthquake. Okay, so nuclear radiation was there. Okay, and then see this 1,500 crore. This compensation is to compensate the human beings only. What about the environment? Environmental impact. environmental impact and liability. See, if nuclear radiation is there in one place, man, it is not that human being alone will become the victim. What about the animals? What about the birds? What about the insects, worms, and other microorganisms in that particular region? What about plants, trees? Everything will get affected. How to reclaim back? So no compensation is there for it. So it is not properly addressed. So that's why PIL has been filed in court saying that we should not show interest in nuclear technology. But yet Indian government is going for nuclear technology because we need energy, we need to develop. We don't have any choice. Even electricity is a harmful one. If you go and touch it, it will kill you. But we are using electricity, no? So that means for that you have to take a regular and proper safety precautions. So like the government is explaining that we have taken precautions. We have taken a calculated risk. We need energy. Otherwise, India will not develop. India is going, that means size of the country is going very big. Size means the population size. So there is more requirement is there. So without current means electricity, we can't grow. And only using civil nuclear technology, we can produce bulk amount of electricity. Other clean energies are there, good source of energy like solar energy is there from sun. But the problem is in using solar, you can't produce this kind of energy. Permanently, we'll get energy from sun. That means that means no input except sunlight. Sunlight is coming for free to the earth, and India is a tropical country where 365 days we have sunshine, and that too during the summer severe sun will be there. It will be more heat will be there in India. But yet using solar technology, we can't produce this amount of energy like we can produce in nuclear technology. That's why we are going for this nuclear technology. So these are all other minor issues. The two major issues is section 17B and section 46. The other issues are section 18, which says that the claims have to be filed within 10 years. And then section 35, which says that the cases will be tried only in a tribunal, not in a civil court. And other environmental impacts are also there. Safety concerns are there. Right to life, Article 21. Some people said that it affects my right to life, Article 21. I have to live in fear. The village which is near that particular reactor have to live in fear. If Kalpakam blows up, the village in and around that Kalpakam will get affected first. Because some people are getting current in Chennai. Why we villages have to worry? Okay, so every time they have to live in a fear. So that's why right to life means it is also a life you have to live without fear. Daily with fear I am living means that is not life. Life means with dignity, with safety, precaution, everything we have to live. Okay. So these are all some of the issues. That means that some of the setbacks or loopholes in CL&A Act 2010. So the supplier companies clearly they have said, unless India scrap these two provisions, they won't supply anything. So now what happened? Like I said, now BJP is in power. So they only made this law very strong. Now they are in power. And we all know that BJP, the present ruling government, is a right-wing government. Pro-US, anti-Soviet. This is their general principle. So when our Prime Minister went there to US, the US people pressurized the Prime Minister. So Prime Minister have to solve this problem. That means India wanted to solve this problem without changing the law. Why the CL&A Act 2010 cannot be changed? Because you have to know that this was during 2015, 14, 15, during this period. By the time the BJP did not have majority in Rajya Sabha. Today they are having it, but not 4 or 5 years before. By the time the President Obama was also about to be to India during for our Republic Day parade in January 2015. So when the president comes to India, we have to settle this issue. This is the deadline. That means this is the understanding. So if you are going and scrapping the section 17B and this 46, 17B and 46, then it needs an amendment. Then it has to be passed in both the House of the Parliament and it should get the assent from the president. But the Rajya Sabha will never pass this kind of amendments. In amendments and all, you have to note that everybody have equal powers. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equal powers. In other bills, Lok Sabha is having an edge over Rajya Sabha. But in amendment, if you want to change anything, means it needs an amendment. It is not easy. So they wanted to change, they wanted to leave off the provisions, but without an amendment. So finally, when Obama came to India, Prime Minister Modi, during his first term in 2015, what he did is, he said that the suppliers need not take responsibility. See, what is the biggest question? Who is going to give the 1,500 crore? Okay, so suppliers have to contribute. Now Modi said that suppliers need not contribute. Then where we will mobilize 1,500 crore? India said that we have created an insurance pool. Insurance pool. So insurance money means it is not original money. Only when an event is happening, the money will actually come into place. Until that, we have to pay a premium. See, life insurance is there. I am going and insuring my life for 1 crore rupees. The insurance company will assume that for 15 years I am insuring, means the insurance company will assume that for the next 15 years I won't die. Based on that assumption, they will insure my life for 1 crore rupees. Suppose something happens, mishap happens to me, means then if I am not there, means then the insurance money 1 crore will be there. Before that, when I am alive, I cannot say that I have 1 crore rupees because I have insured my life for 1 crore rupees. Can you understand? The 1,500 crore insurance money is available, but you can't. That is not a real money. But if an accident occurs, means 1,500 crore really will come. Okay, then the victims will be directly compensated. So this was the arrangement done by the present government. The suppliers need not contribute to the 1,500 crore. We will create an insurance money. Premium will be paid. So premium will be consider a small amount of money. For every year we will pay it. If any accident happens, means then 1,500 crore will be there. So this is the, so on hearing this, the US supplier companies were happy. Obama was happy. Now it is up to the NPCIL to pay the money to the reactors, US companies, and buy the reactors, install it, and produce the electricity. Okay. See, I have not discussed GIC. Okay. So don't go in advance. So now only I am going to discuss. Okay. GIC means General Insurance Company. See how India is going to mobilize the 1,500 crore for that. See, insurance works like a life insurance. I am going and insuring my life for 1 crore rupees. Every year I will be asked to pay 5,000 rupees until that particular day, until my maturity, that amount which I have insured, that maturity amount comes. Before that, if something happens, the insurance company will pay the money to my next kin. That's all. That is insurance. Like that, nobody need to contribute for the 1,500 crore. And insurance has been there. Okay. See, wait. See, why you are going in advance? Who will pay the premium? We will discuss. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you. See, I will tell you everything which I have to communicate. I will tell you everything. Okay, so just wait. One by one we will discuss. See, just now I am introducing that one insurance. They have created an insurance pool. That insurance pool is insurance money 1,000. See, actually, suppliers and operators have to give the 1,500 crore. Now the present government said that suppliers need not give them. Then how we will get the 1,500 crore? For that only, government is creating an insurance. When a reactor is installed, an insurance will be taken. That the reactor is safe. If anything happens to the reactor, means the insurance money amount 1,500 crore will be paid to the victims and the operators. That's all. This is an insurance. And for the insurance, 750 crore will be provided by an insurance company named General Insurance Company and other insurance companies. And remaining 750 will be provided by the government. Okay, so just keep the question at the end of the class. I'm going to give you time. Okay, how without amendment the provision? See, don't go in advance. Why are you hyperactive? Okay, so just allow me to explain one by one, step by step. Okay, directly I can explain that, but you won't understand. So we have created an insurance pool, and the insurance pool 1,500 crore will be provided. 50% of the money will be provided by some private insurance companies. Remaining 50% money will be provided by the government. Actually, that 750 crore you need not give every time. Only when that accident happens, the 750 crore by private company and government will come. That means altogether 1,500. So this is the arrangement done by the government of India. So the suppliers are happy. Supply need not contribute for the 1,500 crore. Okay. So this is what happened. All the problems are over. Now it is up to the NPCIL to give the money to the suppliers, buy the reactor and technology, install it, produce electricity, and give it to the victim. And in case of accident, insurance money will be there, that will be given as compensation. Who is suppliers? US company is the suppliers. We are discussing about Indo-US nuclear deal. Who supplies this reactor? What is Indo-US nuclear deal? US will supply us reactors and technology. That is Indo-US nuclear. Okay. So US companies need not give money. US suppliers need not give money. Indian operators and Indian victims will be compensated from the insurance money. All the problems are over. Now it is the commercial part of the deal is only spending. You have the NPCL have to pay the money, get the reactor, install it, operate it, sell the current. So all the problems are over. Like that government announced. Okay. But what happened is lot of issues are there. So somebody asked the question, no? Who is going to pay the premium? The supplier company, operator company will pay. See, government has released an FAQ. There was no discussion was there, no announcement was there. Government released a FAQ. FAQ means question and answer, facts and questions. Facts for the, that means they will ask the question themselves and they will answer. See, question and answer session means somebody, the audience have to ask the question, and the person who is explaining have to give the answer. But government itself put the question, government itself answered everything. So government in that FAQ, it is clearing the doubts regarding this insurance. Number one, who is going to pay the premium? For the government said that the supplier companies, operator companies will pay the premium. Suppose if the supplier companies are not ready to pay the premium, why? Frequently asked question. Okay, so it's about facts and question. That's what I'm telling. FAQ means frequently asked question. Facts and question means they will ask the question and they will provide all the facts regarding that particular issue. Okay, so instead of having a question and answer interaction session, they themselves will ask the question, they themselves will bring the particular facts. Okay, so ultimately the point is government has released, that means they have explained everything, okay, in their own way. So the first question was, who is going to pay the premium? Suppliers and operators will pay the premium. Suppliers and operators means in the sense, again suppliers will hesitate not to pay the premium. They only said we will not compensate. Then why they have to pay the premium? See, paying the premium will not be a big problem for suppliers. See, initially they will pay the premium from their pocket. But ultimately what they will do? They will add it to the manufacturing cost. This will become a manufacturing cost. Ultimately, who have to bear that? The people, the customers have to bear that. That means the ultimate idea is, I am paying the premium ultimately. Really, I am paying it. Actually, the supplier and operators will pay the premium. And they will include it with the manufacturing cost. So manufacturing plus profit only is the selling price. So when I am buying current from these people, I am paying for the current and also I am paying for the insurance money also. That is the understanding. So that means if tomorrow I am going to get affected because of the radiation, some accident events, actually the suppliers or operators, they are not paying the money. I am paying myself. That is the understanding, because I only pay the premium. Premium I am putting from my own pocket and they are compensating myself. That means I am compensated from my own pocket. So this is the biggest problem. See, compensation money means somebody have to give you money. They are taking your purse, taking your money and giving to you, take this as compensation means that is not a compensation. And they are taking your money and paying it as premium. That is the original understanding. And in case of accident, they are paying back the insurance money to you, for which you only paid the money. Okay, so this is not a compensation actually. So this is one issue. Okay. See, premium means, see, I think you did not know what is life insurance. See, I am insuring my life for 10 lakh rupees means, for example, I am insuring my life for 10 lakh rupees. That means for 10 years. That means the insurance company is giving a guarantee that for the next 10 years, I will not die. If I die means The insurance company will give my family 10 lakh rupees. This is the understanding. But they won't give the money for free. Every month I have to pay, for example, every 6 months I have to pay 5,000 as premium. I have to pay a fee for that. Every 6 months, 5,000 rupees. Per year, 10,000 rupees I have to pay. Okay, so like that, until this money matures, I have to pay. Before that, if anything happens to me, they will pay the full amount, the insured amount, 1 lakh. So the money paid for that insurance only is called premium. Okay, so like that, they have insured the money for 1,500 crore compensation. Okay, so 1,500 crore, simply they won't give it. They will give the 1,500 crore only when there is an accident. No, see, so don't premium interest means don't equate this with simple interest. That premium means the money paid as a fee to the insurer, I mean insurance company by the insurer. Okay, so in return for the fee only, that insurance company is giving a guarantee that you give me a small amount of money as premium. If anything happens, means in between, I will pay the full amount, the bulk amount. So they will get the money from everyone and then pay to one person. So this is the understanding. Okay. So you have to know the principle. That means what is the idea behind life insurance? Then only you can understand this. So 1,500. The insurance company is giving a guarantee that nothing will happen to the nuclear reactor. If anything happens, means any accident happens, means I will give you 1,500. And if simply they are not giving. So for I am giving you this assurance, no. For that every year you pay me 1 crore rupees. Like that they will give that is a premium amount. So every time, every period we have to, every cycle we have to pay 1 crore rupees regularly. Okay, if anything happens, you have paid only 5 crore rupees, but accident happened. The insurance company will pay you 1,500 full amount. Okay, so different types of insurance are there. This is one type of insurance. The insurance company insures, it is giving an assurance that nothing will happen. If anything happens, means I will give you 1,500 crore. So until anything happens, you pay me the small premium, 50 lakh rupees per month or 10 lakh rupees per month. Like that you pay me. I will give you a guarantee that nothing will happen. So this is based on understanding. Okay. So now you have to know that the companies first they will pay the premium and ultimately they will put the cost on the while selling that particular current. Ultimately the victims will have to bear it. So this is the understanding. You put your question at the end of the class. Nothing happens means your money is gone. See, this is what we call it as risk management. See, for example, one family, that father is there. That father is the breadwinner in the particular family. Suppose he is the only earning member. Suppose the father dies, means what will happen? The entire family, mother is not going to work. The children, small children are there. The mother will suffer. For that purpose only, they will put the life insurance. Okay. So different types of life insurance are there. Maturity, they will give you the maturity. Endowment plan is there. Or sometimes for endowment plan means if the father is insuring his life for 10 lakh rupees, means you have to pay the premium. Suppose if nothing happens to the father and you have the money we have paid is exceeding the fixed amount, means they will give you back the fixed amount with interest. This is one type of plan. For that you have to pay more in premium. That is, in one more type is there. It will be nearly 1/5 of the total amount only. But once the money matures, no money will be given to you. This is something like medical insurance. See, in medical insurance and all, if you are insuring your life, medical health insurance, if nothing happens, means the money goes to the company. If anything happens, means the money will be paid to you for your medical expenses. Life insurance is the example for endowment plans. Medical insurance is an example for the term. This is called term insurance. For term insurance, money the money will be very less, premium money. Okay, so we are deviating. Okay, so anyway, this is one thing. And then the other doubt is, the biggest problem here is what happened to the CL&D Act 2010? Without amendment, how can you pass a law? How can you change this? Who pays the premium to GST? Suppliers and operators. Why government have to pay? See, suppliers and operators will pay the premium. Okay. If something happens, means the insurance people will give you the full amount. Okay. So the biggest issue in this CL&D Act is what happened to the CL&D Act 2010. That means we have not amended anything. Earlier, what we said? Earlier, we said that according to section 17, NPCL can claim compensation from the suppliers. According to 46, victim can sue the suppliers. Victim can sue the suppliers. So this is the understanding. But simply we have waived off the responsibility of the victims. Yes, paying the premium is not a problem. Immediately they will pay the premium and they will collect it from the victim. So actually they are not paying. Yeah, actually they are paying, but really who is paying? The victims, the customers only will be paying. So they said that no issue will be there. Okay, so initially they will put the money, they will add it to the manufacturing cost, that's all. And ultimately the user will pay the full amount. That is the understanding. Okay, see what happened to the CL&D Act 2010. The CL&D Act 2010, it says that the suppliers are responsible to the operator according to 17B. The suppliers are responsible to the victim according to 46. Now the government is telling suppliers need not be responsible. Then who waived this thing? Yes, compensation to the customers. Customers only, they are now liable. Okay. So now the point is, who is see now you have to note that how can the government give waiver to the suppliers? What happened to our rule of law? Our law, CL&D Act 2010, which is approved by the Parliament, clearly says that Section 17B, suppliers have to give money to the compensation to the NPCA, our Indian company. Section 46 says that the victims can file compensation against the suppliers. Now government says suppliers need not take responsibility. How this is possible? How can you waive off? That means how can you go against the law? How can a government go against the law? That means in India, rule of law is there. That is the basic structure of the constitution. You can't go against the law. In India, rule of law. Rule of law means everything will be done according to law only in India. Procedure established by law. That is called rule of law. But then what happened to CL&D Act? CL&D Act holds the suppliers responsible. Government is telling suppliers are not responsible. So for that, what government did is government used some shortcut method. Shortcut method means some the gimmicks. See, they said that the provisions which makes the suppliers responsible is only an optional provision, not a compulsory provision. Like that they said. See, for example, I am telling. See, read this line. See, actually, I will tell you. See, the plant operator, NPCL, can claim compensation. It is not will or should or must. That means it is not a compulsory one. It is only an optional one, like that government said. Similarly, they said to 46. Okay, so that means earlier you read wrongly. Now you read correctly by saying that. But now government is telling that earlier I did not change anything. But actually the law says that the suppliers are optional to give the money, not compulsory to give that money. Like that government gave a new interpretation to the old law. New interpretation. How can you give a new interpretation when the government said that this is not a new interpretation? This is the correct interpretation because the law is ambiguous. The words used in that law act is CL&D Act 2010 is always tough. See, the words which I have given here, 17B, 46, don't think that like this only it is there in the original act. This is the simplified version of that particular law. How we read in newspaper, like that I have given. Section 17B, if you go and read it, you won't understand. See, I am telling you, you won't understand the original law, what we call it as BARE Act, B-A-R-E, BARE Act. If you go and read the original act, it means you won't understand what they are telling. You go and try to read this original constitution of India. No one will understand. I will give you in writing. See, if you read Lakshmikant book, you will understand. Lakshmikant is a book which is preferred for reading Indian polity. There is one more book is there. D.D. Basu book is there. Some people will refer D.D. Basu, but I am recommending don't go for D.D. Basu. D.D. Basu mostly they will replicate the original BARE Act. You won't understand anything without explanation. You can't understand. You can't read the word. Nothing will be straight. If they wanted to say something, they will say only in the reverse direction. See, this is how our Indian law are there. Okay, very rough, crude language will be there in DD also. But in Lakshmikant, friendly language, simple language. Our laws are not in simple language, tough English. That's what I'm telling. That means common man cannot read it from the original act and then interpret what the law is telling. No one will understand. I will give you that. Okay, so this is the problem with the Indian laws. Indian law should be simple. It is not simple. You can't read it. You just compare DD Basu book with Lakshmikant book. Lakshmikant in our own language, our readable language. DD Basu book also, it is an abridged version of the original constitution, but it will be tough. The language will be tough. See, for example, so they will use this word like this, not impossible. Why can't it directly? For that, you can say that it is possible. They won't tell it is possible. For example, I'm telling. Instead of telling possible, they will use the word not impossible. So this is for an example. Whenever it is being used like this, they will use the language. Simply see, not impossible is a tough word. Why we have to go for not impossible? Okay, so the point is, not impossible means in the sense, instead of that, directly you can say either you have to use a negative word or a positive word, that's all. But they will use two negative words for one positive word. Like that, always it is a complex one. Okay, so this is the reason behind the new interpretation. Government said that you have to interpret like this. So they have changed nothing, but they are interpreting in a new way. So that means the law is ambiguous. You can read it in this way or this way. Like that, it is there. So this is the problem. So like this, they simply solved the problem without changing the law. And then the other doubt is the total compensation amount available is only 1,500 crore. The biggest doubt is what if the total compensation crosses 1,500 crore? See, how can you say that if Kalpakam blows off means Chennai will get affected? How can you say that 1,500 crore alone will be affected? See, near Mahabalipuram, until Mahabalipuram from Chennai, you have all the IT companies, IT parks are there. Heavy investment have been done. So do you think that 1,500 crore means you can't even buy a building there? One building with land, it will cost 1,500 crore. How can you compensate with 1,500 crore? That means the point is, what if the total compensation crosses this 1,500? For that, government is telling that government will contribute another 1,110 crore. 1,500 crore through insurance pool, and government will give another 1,110 crore. That means altogether 1,500, that means 1,500 plus 1,110 crore. That means 2,610 crore. If the total damage crosses 2,610 crore, then only we can go and access the International Liability Fund, which is available according to CAC Convention 1997. That means if any accident is there, means the basic compensation amount of 2,610 crore have to be bared by the nation, that nation government itself. The country, the people who are buying have to look after that. If the total damage crosses 2,610 crore, that means 1,500 plus 1,110 crore. That is 2,610 crore altogether. If the damage crosses more than this, then only we can go and apply. That's why I called that fund as a supplementary convention. That fund is a supplementary fund only. Now that means the basic damage we have to bear it. Beyond that, they will take charge. They will give you some money. So original compensation is coming from the suppliers only after 2,610. So these are some of the setbacks or loopholes in the arrangement, new arrangement. But why you have to note that everybody accepted this? Because everybody needs current. Everybody needs current. Okay, everybody wants power. We are ready to sacrifice our safety. We are ready to take any risk to just to get the luxury. Luxury means AC, fan, current means you need power. Power means we have to buy it from nuclear technology. Okay, who will give means the CAC convention will give it. The CAC convention, I have said no. The International Liability Fund. One fund was available, no, but they will not immediately, they will not give money from this fund. The CIC convention, according to this convention, the supplier companies, they have created this fund, but immediately they won't give you the money. It is 1,500 crore. We have to mobilize through insurance pool, and then after that, government will provide you 1,110 crore. That is altogether 2,610 crore. We have to compensate ourselves. So if the total damage crosses this amount, means beyond that we can access this fund, and the supplier companies will help. That means the basic 2,610 crore have to be backed by ourselves. You can understand. So this is the understanding. So government finally pushed this deal. Nobody opposed this because everybody want power, everybody want luxury. That's why we are even though we know very well that nuclear technology is a very harmful technology. It is under our control. That is the understanding. The government itself said that we have taken calculated risk, but it is a big risk. Kudankulam blows off means what will happen? Thuthukudi, entire Tirunelveli area may get into trouble. Chances are there. Radiation. Radiation means no. When people are sleeping, radiation will come. See what happened in Vizag. Okay, so that LG power, that polymer power plant, that means that not power plant, that chemical plant, some gas leak was there. People were sleeping at the night. People get into trouble. Bhopal gas tragedy also like that only. During night only the chemical leaked out. Okay, even if you wanted to escape means where you will run, because everywhere in the atmosphere the poisonous gas is there. So people will die. People will suffocate. This is the problem. Elder people, children, pregnant ladies will die. Okay, because of suffocation. Okay, so we are ready to take a risk just for luxury. Okay, see, if you want to grow means you have to destroy something. This is based on this logic. We are taking risk. Let us, if radiation comes means let us face it. But government says that radiation will not come. I will give you a guarantee. So like this, we have pushed this. Okay, then what are the implications of this deal? See, put this question at the end of the class. Let me finish. Okay, I have to round somewhere, no? In cinema theater, before the last reel, before the climax, will you ask for interval? Okay, so let me finish this. Okay, the implication. This is the last one. After that, I will give you a break. I also need break. Continuously for more than 1 hour, I am speaking, no? See, in classes and all, I can take little break, but since it is an online class, continuously I am speaking. Not this. Okay, I also need a break. Just wait. Just be patient. Okay. So I am going to finish it. I just after discussing this implication, we will take a break. Okay. So the strategy context. So this is the end of India's global denial of dual-use technology. What is dual-use technology? Buying it for civil purpose, using it for military purpose. That means here afterwards, India cannot test nuclear weapon. So this is one implication. We can't use it for dual purpose means we can't use it for military purpose. That is the understanding. And then 2, this deal will make India to enter into the 4 control regimes, non-proliferation regimes. I have given NSG, MTCR, Wassenaar Agreement, Australia Agreement. Except in energy, in other 3 we have already become a member. After this, in energy we are yet to become a member. China is blocking India. We will discuss that. And then literally this axis has been formed. This axis only now we call it as Quad. 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 And India's dependence over Iran for oil and Russia came down. Now we have open relationship with US. India-US relationship started. So these are all the important implications. The end of denial of dual-use technology. And then 2, we will enter into the 4 control regimes. In that already we have entered into 3. Only in energy nuclear supply group we are yet to enter. And then we have literally this axis has been formed, anti-chain axis. And our dependence over Iran for oil, because now we are having energy, no? Current, so our oil dependency has came down. And we were depending upon Russia for defense equipments. And we were ally of Russia. From Russia, we are now moving towards US. So in this direction, we are moving. So this is all the implications of this Indo-US civil nuclear. And then coming to the energy. See, while we were given the waiver in 2008, China said that it is giving us only conditional support. So China said that If India has to be given full membership in energy, means prudence and caution needs to be exercised in this issue. Prudence and caution needs to be exercised in this issue, like that China said. Okay. And then the road to energy membership for India will come with cost. That means why energy was formed? Energy was formed against India's action. Now you are giving special waiver to energy. But then what is the purpose of energy? So this is the problem. So the purpose of energy will go down. Like that, China is one. And China wanted to bring India-Pakistan parity. What is India-Pakistan parity? See, I will answer all your questions at the end of the class. We got changed our Seal India compensation provision. Then why still we are not getting the nuclear supplies? We are not getting now. Yes, correct. So your question is actually correct question. I'll answer that. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let me finish this. I will answer. So now there is no legal problem between India and other countries. So let me finish this. So China wanted to push Pakistan into parity. So US wanted to bring India into energy member as an energy member. China is telling, I will bring Pakistan then. If you allow Pakistan, I will allow India. Like that China is telling. Because energy works based on consensus. Consensus. Okay. It works based on consensus. That means everybody have to accept. Otherwise, then it's no law. That is how. So ultimately, what happens is now, no country in energy will accept Pakistan to become a member because Pakistan doesn't have a clear non-proliferation record. Why means because Pakistan itself stole all the things from China. Stole means in black market they bought it, and then from Pakistan they sent it to Iran, and from Pakistan and Iran again the nuclear technology spread it to North Korea also. So from Pakistan the nuclear proliferation happened, but India never proliferated. That means spread this technology to anyone. India never gave this technology to anyone. That's why I said India, although a non-party of NPT, acted like a party of NPT. We adhere to the principle of NPT, but without being a party of NPT. Okay, we did not sign it, but we follow the principles of NPT. That's why everybody respects India. Everybody thinks that if India is having nuclear technology, even bombs, it is not harmful to anyone. But Pakistan have the technology means it is harmful. It will openly give it to Iran and then to other countries. This will become a problem. They may give it to Taliban. Chances are there. This is the problem. And Pakistan said that this deal will destabilize South Asia. Destabilize South Asia. Because one country, two countries are there in South Asia having nuclear weapon. India and Pakistan. And India will be recognized, Pakistan will not be recognized. Means the balance of power will be in favor of India. This will create problem. This is what Pakistan says. Now the issue is India wants membership in energy. China is not allowing it. Okay. Why China is not allowing it? China is asking India to sign the NPT treaty. India says that signing NPT treaty is not a condition for entering into energy. No link is there. Then why are you asking me to sign the NPT treaty? China says that then nuclear arms race will be there. India says that, see, completely outdated idea. India already came to an understanding that India doesn't need more nuclear weapons. So India already have pledged towards the international community by signing the civil nuclear technology that India hereafter doesn't need military technology. All India needs is only civil technology for producing electricity. So it is an outdated idea. So only China is not allowing India to enter into energy. That is one of the reasons why India did not join Belt and Road Initiative. So this is one of the reasons. China desperately needs India to join the Belt and Road Initiative. India needs energy. China is not allowing it. So this is the checks and balance. Okay. But anyway, we can't exchange for energy membership for Belt and Road Initiative. So we can bargain with China. I will enter into Belt and Road Initiative if you allow me to enter into energy. Like that we can bargain. But India's biggest problem is the CPEC, the China-Pakistan Economic Order, which is a part of the bigger Belt and Road Initiative, cuts across our POK region, which is a bilateral dispute between India and Pakistan. It affects our territorial integrity and sovereignty. See, two years before 2018, when our Prime Minister went to China, China asked India to come and join the Belt and Road Initiative. They said that Belt and Road Initiative is a big mega project. A big elephant is going, means scratches will be there. Okay, so big project is there, means some minor violations will be there. Why are you making this a big problem? Why can't you come and join? Don't make this a small. You see that CPEC cutting across the POK region is a small one road only is going. Why are you making this as a big problem? Like that China said. India said that. Indian Prime Minister immediately replied, whatever may be the grand mega project, it should respect territorial integrity and sovereignty. Like that, our Prime Minister answered. If you affect our territorial integrity and sovereignty, then how can we come and join your Belt and Road Initiative? Okay, so China wants India to come and join the Belt and Road Initiative. That's why China is blocking India not to enter into NFC. Okay, so with US with US support, and see 40 out of 48 countries, more than 41 countries, they are openly supporting India. 5-6 countries, they are neutral. They are not supporting or opposing. Only one country, China, is opposing India. So we have to get the confidence of the neutral countries, and then we have to put pressure on China. Maybe in long run, China may accept. Now, after all this incident, it will be difficult for China to accept it. But already we have we have access to nuclear related materials all over the world. We doesn't need full membership until we get the support of US. Okay. So this is regarding India and the world regarding nuclear technology. Okay. We'll take a break and then we'll continue. Okay, we'll take 5 minutes break and then we'll continue. Okay. So that student asked, no? So now all the problems are over. Then why no country have sent us reactors? See, actually, our country is negotiating with a US company named Westinghouse. Okay, but what happened is that company went to Diwali and now only slowly recovering. Okay, so the negotiation is still on. Maybe shortly we will buy it from various countries. Okay, so no big issue. So actually, 5 years before itself, the negotiation started. Before we were about to pay, that company went down. The company which was about to supply us went down in US. That's why it is dragging. So now only again that Westinghouse is again coming up. Okay. Okay. So next regarding China, regarding US, US have passed one law called CAA-TSA Act. CAA-TSA. CAA-TSA Act. Countering America's adversaries through, this is T, through Sanctions Act. Countering America's adversaries through Sanctions Act. See, what is this act means? See, US is now have unilaterally, they have put sanction on Iran. And US is also have put sanctions on Russia also. That we will discuss when we discuss Russia. So US is already have put pressure on this both the countries, Iran and Russia. But now what happened is, US thinks that even when US put sanction, these countries are surviving. Because other countries, see, this is a unilateral sanction. This is not a United Nations sanction. The earlier sanction in 2005-8 during this period, when US put on Iran, that sanction was a United Nations sanction. All world countries put sanction. See, now if you want world countries to put sanctions, actually we have to put sanctions on US only. But US is a big country and many countries are beneficiaries of US, including India. So that's why what US thinks is, this sanction, US sanction by Iran is not enough for Iran to put pressure on Iran. That's why US is asking the allies of US to put the similar sanctions on Iran. That means US, you already unilaterally they put sanctions on Iran, and US is telling to the friends of US that, like I have put sanction, you also have to put sanction. Like that they are putting pressure. See, this is India, Iran, US on Iran and Russia. So US have passed an act called CAA-TSA Act. What this CAA-TSA Act is, countering America's adversaries, countering America's enemies through sanctions act. Countering America's adversaries through sanctions act. So through this, US is asking, US have already put sanctions both on Iran and Russia. But now US is asking the friends of US to put the similar sanctions on Iran and Russia. Particularly the beneficiaries of US. The beneficiaries of US. Okay. Okay. So already I have explained. India, US and Russia and China. And Russia and Iran. That's all. That is the topic. Okay. So don't block the class. Okay. So US is asking the beneficiaries. Beneficiary means who are getting concession from US. So I am giving you concession. Now you also put the similar sanctions on Iran. Like that, US is threatening the beneficiaries of US by passing this particular act. The biggest victim was India itself, because you see, India is a close ally of US. India is getting a lot of benefits from US. On the other side, India was importing oil and gas from Iran. 10 years before, you have to note that India, 33% of our total imports were coming from Iran. Because of the international sanction, from 33%, we have reduced it to 11%. Now, US is telling that we should reduce our 11% to 0%. That means don't buy any oil and gas from Iran. Like that, US is pressurizing India. then only we can get the concession which we are getting from US regarding trade, taxes, etc. Okay, and US is also asking India, don't buy anything from Russia, particularly the defense equipments. So because of the CAA TSA Act passed by US, India got into trouble with respect to Iran and with respect to US. So US is telling don't buy anything from Iran. And US is also telling don't buy any defense equipment from Russia. India, then US is also telling if Russia is not giving here afterwards, don't worry, I will sell mine. Like that US is telling. First, let us take Iran. What India did with respect to Iran. With respect to Iran, India said that India is not in a position to buy more oil and gas from Iran. But at the same time, after the 2015 that relaxation which was given to Iran, immediately India and Iran have signed some currency swap agreement. See, earlier, how US can restrict means if you wanted to buy anything from foreign country, we have to import, and for the imports we have to pay them only in US dollars, because all world country will accept only US dollar. Nobody will accept Indian rupee, because Indian rupee will be useful only in India. That means with Indian rupee you can buy things only from India. That means Iran doesn't have much to buy from India. If Iran, then that means we have to pay Iran only in US dollars. US dollars means don't think that we will pay them in cash. Both these countries will have a bank account in US bank in US, within US territory. From Indian account, the money will be transferred to the other country's account in US territory. This is how most of the transactions are being happen. That means the US, because it is in their territory, US will not allow anyone to deposit money in Iran's account. It will freeze Iran's account. It has already frozen that particular account. That we have to know. That means nobody can pay Iran in US dollars. Paying in US dollars is a problem. So we also raised the issue with Iran. You have a personal problem with US. Now we became a victim because we are not able to pay. Like that, India argued. Finally, India and Iran have signed currency swap agreement. That means Iran said that I am ready to accept your rupee itself. You buy oil from me, in return for payment, no need to give in US dollar, because US dollar I can't be able to get it because US will not allow. So what you do is you give me US currency. Okay. Later at some point of time we can swap the currency. When that means when India have some other currency, or when things becomes normal, then Iran will give back the Indian currency and we will give them goods or some other currency. Okay. So this is called currency swap agreement. That means in currency swap agreement with these countries, there is no need to pay these countries in US dollars. They will accept local currency. And after some time, they will swap the currency. When things comes normal, when Iran is out of trouble, by the time Iran can accept a US dollar. No, by the time we can pay in US dollars and get back our currency. Like that, we have done some arrangement. But yet, US want India not to buy oil and gas from Iran. They want us to reduce our import to 0%. And India said that that is not possible. And Iran also warned India that already drastically you have reduced your oil import from Iran. Now, if you further reduce on listening to US, then you won't get some kind of concessions. Like that they say. The currency swap agreement means, see, Iran is giving us oil. We have to pay them in US dollars. We can't pay them in US dollars because the money have to be transferred in US bank in US. US will not allow it. So Iran said that you give me your currency. So India will give our currency, our Indian rupee. And in return, Iran will give us oil. But later, after some time, when things becomes normal, or if India gets some other currency, for example, India is having euro, we can give euro and we can get back our currency. This is called currency swap. And Iran will access that, use that foreign money with some other country. Or when Iran's problem is solved with US, then when Iran can access US currency, then they will accept it. Until that, they will use our own currencies. Okay, so this is a big concession. If India wanted to buy oil from Iran, All India have to give is Indian currency. What India can do? Print more money and then give it to Iran. That's all. That means freely we can import oil. That's the understanding. Just for a paper. That means this is like a checkbook. Our currency is like a check. That's all. Okay. So later sometime we can give them US currency and get back our currency. Okay. So this is what India said. And there is a 90-day credit period is available for India from Iran. So if Iran supplies us oil, immediately no need to pay Iran. So Iran can wait for 90 days, 3 months. Like that, they are giving us for credit. So Iran said that you will lose this kind of credit if you are not buying your oil from Iran. If you further reduce buying oil from Iran, means you will lose this particular. So it is unlikely that India will further reduce our oil import from Iran. One. And number two, India convinced the US that Iran is a useful country to India. Last class we discussed how Iran can be useful to India. We wanted to access the Chabahar port. Why Chabahar port is important? Otherwise, the Chinese presence in Arabian Sea will increase because of the Gwadar port, number one. And number two, through Chabahar port only we can access Afghanistan and Central Asia. And the US wanted to pull its forces out of Afghanistan. For that, US is pressurizing India to help Afghanistan. If US want India to help Afghanistan, then how we will go to Afghanistan? Pakistan route is not available for India. Only route to access Afghanistan is through Iran's Chabahar port. So US has allowed India to use Iran's port of Chabahar, but US is asking India to reduce our oil import from Iran. So these are the two conditions. Okay, one, they are giving us full liberty. You use Chabahar port, I won't create problem, but don't buy oil. So this is what US system. But India have to take a choice whether we want Iran or whether we want US. Like that, it is there. If you are not buying oil from Iran, means Iran will become a hostile country for India. Or on the other side, if India buys oil from Iran, means US will become unfriendly with India. So India have to, it is in a delicate balance. Okay, we have to carefully handle this particular issue. Okay, this issue is still going on. And with respect to Russia, US asked India, don't buy defense equipment from Russia. When US said, don't buy anything from Russia, Russia immediately turns its entire attention to India, whether you are going to buy it or not. Like that, they are watching India. Okay, see, normal circumstances, regularly we buy everything from Russia. When the enemy of Russia is telling, don't buy anything from Russia, that is the time we have to go and buy defense equipment from Russia and prove to Russia that I am still your friend. Can you understand? So Russia and India are friends. US is asking India, cut off our relationship with Russia. Now only Russia will expect more relationship with Russia. India's relationship with Russia. So India was under pressure. So you have to note that 80% of our total defense equipments, I'm telling you, are of Russian origin. All are from Russia only. That you have to note. And we need Russia for many things. If we are cutting off our relationship with Russia, and even US is ready to supply all the defense equipments to India, man, it will take time for India to completely phase out the Russian equipments and completely depend upon US equipment. Because 70 years we bought equipment from Russia, in a single year or 10 years we can't phase it out. It will take 2-3 decades. So our position will be vulnerable. And not only that, until that, the Russian equipments and US equipments cannot be used together because it won't be compatible. The compatibility is important, no? So US is telling you stop buying it from Russia, I will provide everything in the future. Even US is telling like that. Until India phase out Russian equipments and buy US equipments, India will be in a vulnerable position. We can't use US equipment and Russian equipment simultaneously because it won't be compatible. So this is the problem. So India is in the mercy of Russia. This is the understanding. And we are friends of Russia. So that's why, to ensure that India is a friendly country to Russia, India last year 2018 signed a lot of defense agreements with Russia. We signed a lot of defense deals with Russia to prove that India and Russia are friends. And US also have accepted it because US understands India's vulnerability. If we are going for the transition, until transition, India will be vulnerable. So today's India's position is with respect to China and Pakistan. US is our close ally and Russia is our friend. Russia will not go against India and US will back India. Like that our position is. So for that purpose only, in the present government have made this Jaishankar as the who was the former foreign secretary and the former ambassador to US as a foreign minister of India to handle US pressure. Okay, so we are maintaining our relationship with Russia, but we are reducing our dependence over Iran. That is true. But with respect to Iran, Chabahar port is very, very important to India. And on the other side, we are also maintaining our friendship with US. Okay, you ask your questions at the end of the class. See, India, US is asking India not to buy oil from Iran. India have reduced it. But India have got the acceptance from US to access the Chabahar port from Iran because of Afghanistan. Otherwise, US cannot pull out of Afghanistan. So US want India to help Afghanistan. That's the reason US allowing India to access Chabahar. With respect to Russia, US accepts India's position. Why? Because India cannot completely phase out Russian equipment and buy US equipment. Until for phasing out and completely buying US equipment, it will take 2-3 decades. 30 years without defense, how can we live? Okay, so that's why India felt that for defense, Russia is our standard partner. No doubt in that. Today, US is also our partner. Okay, so Russia will, even with China and Pakistan, Russia, whether it is supporting India or not, it won't support China or Pakistan. And US against China, US will support India. Against Pakistan also, possibility is there for US to put pressure on Pakistan. So India maintains our relationship with Russia and also ensures our friendship with US. So everybody accepts to some extent only they can put pressure on India because US and Russia are enemies, that doesn't mean that we have to become enemies of Russia. So this is India's stand. So this is how India negotiates with US. Okay. So you can ask this question at the end of the class. So they have given a waiver. They did not, that means waiver means in the sense they did not put the pressure on India. That's the understanding. Because India have to buy equipment from Russia. Otherwise, Russia will not give it. We have to continue to buy. Otherwise, Russia will not support us. In defense equipments, we are depending on Russia. US also know this. India have explained our position. So that's why India is retaining our friendship with Russia and also maintaining our friendship with US. This is one thing. And the other thing, Trump's South Asia policy. That is also important. Trump's South Asia policy. See, actually, in 2001, during Junior Bush period, US sent its army to Afghanistan to fight war against this Taliban and Al-Qaeda and finish up this Osama bin Laden. And finally, Osama bin Laden was eliminated. So nearly for 19 years, US is fighting a war in Afghanistan. So that we have to know. So in the circumstances now, US now finds that it is a wasteful war for US. US want to pull out all its forces out of Afghanistan. But the problem for US is, if US comes out, means the democratically installed government in Afghanistan is a weak government. Like in Iraq, they are not strong. Somebody have to help this Afghanistan government. Then only US can completely withdraw from Afghanistan and go back to US. And US has spent a lot of money, lot of time, lot of effort, and it has lost lives in Afghanistan. That we have to know. And the thing is, if Afghanistan gets into trouble, means it is going to affect India also in terms of internal security. That's why, and India is a beneficiary of US. So US is asking India to help Afghanistan. Okay. So what happened is two years before, US announced a policy called AF-PAK policy, Afghanistan-Pakistan policy. That is called AF, AF-PAK, US AF-PAK policy or US South Asia. So in this policy, US said that US is going to increase its presence in Afghanistan. After increasing its armed forces, it will complete the job and quit on a particular date. Okay, with a definite exit timetable, US will increase its presence, finish our job there, and then US will quit Afghanistan after completely eliminating all the terrorist people in Afghanistan. So India welcomed this particular move because US is going to increase the presence and defeat all the terrorist people. Means it is good for India because US enemies are also India's enemies. Okay. And the second thing in AFPAC policy is US said that US will pressurize Pakistan not to support terrorism. And this is what India also wanted. And like the AFPAC policy, Trump has cut down all the financial support, military support to Pakistan. See, I'm not using the slide. I'm just explaining. Okay. So no slide. Just I'm explaining. Okay. See, so no slides for this. Okay. So that's why same slide. Okay. So after in the AFPAC policy, US want India. See, first US is going to increase its armed presence in Afghanistan, and it will put more pressure in Afghanistan, solve the problem, and then quit Afghanistan, go back to US. This is point number one. Point number two, US will put pressure on Pakistan to solve the problem. To not to support terrorism. This is number two. And number three, US will put pressure on India to help Afghanistan because US is a beneficiary of India, no? Sorry, India is a beneficiary of US. We are getting concession from US. So if you want that concession means, then we have to help US to exit Afghanistan. And all the three policies were very good for India because what India wants is India wants all the terrorist group to be eliminated. US said that I am going to do it with a time frame. So this is good for welcoming measure for India. Number two, US said that it will increase its armed, that means it will put pressure on Pakistan. So this is what India also wanted. And number three, India actually wanted to help Afghanistan, but Pakistan is not allowing. Now US said that US will pressurize India to help Afghanistan. So again, India, it is a welcome move for India. So India's, Trump's AFPAC policy is a welcome one for India. India openly welcomed it. Okay. And apart from this, Trump was also asked India to send our army to Afghanistan to fight along with US army to eliminate the Taliban and other terrorist people. But India did not send our army. Okay. And now what happened is AFPAC policy, Afghanistan-Pakistan policy, or Trump's South Asia policy. Now what Trump is doing is Trump has abandoned his own policy. Instead of eliminating Taliban, US began to negotiate with Taliban itself for a settlement. See, first what US did is US asked the Afghanistan government to negotiate with Taliban. The Afghanistan's Ashraf Ghani is the president now. When his government negotiated with the Taliban, the supporters of Afghanistan, the Afghanistan government was not happy with the president and US pressure because the Taliban people killed these people. How can we go and negotiate with the people and go for a settlement? So that's why the settlement, the peace talks between the Afghanistan government and the Taliban went down. It collapsed. And after that, what the US did, US directly bypassing Afghanistan government began to negotiate with the Taliban. And not only that, now recently in February 2020, they signed a deal with Taliban itself. So what is the deal? US will quit Taliban, that means Afghanistan. And Taliban will be recognized as a political party. And in return, Taliban have to renounce terrorism, and Taliban should not use Afghanistan as a ground for terrorism outside Afghanistan. So these are all the conditions. That means US have to quit Afghanistan, number one. Two, Taliban will be recognized as a political party. And three, Taliban have to renounce terrorism and should not use Afghanistan as a base for terrorist activities outside Afghanistan. So like that, US was negotiating with Taliban and they went for, they had a deal. They had a political deal. Okay, and but again, what happens? See India's situation. India and Taliban doesn't like each other because Taliban people are pro-Pakistan people. Pakistan wanted to use Taliban against India. Taliban become legitimate. Taliban comes to power. Means it will be difficult for India. Our internal security and the border security, everything will get into trouble. So this is the position. So that's why what happened is India was not in a position to negotiate with Taliban's. US was negotiating Taliban. Even Afghanistan government was negotiating Taliban for some time. Even Russia was also ready to negotiate with Taliban because Russia is also affected by terrorism. So Russia also wanted to put an end to all this terrorism. That's why they were ready to negotiate with Taliban. Even Iran, who is the arch enemy of Taliban, he was ready to negotiate with Taliban. Why? Means because in Pakistan, Afghanistan region, some Shia people were living. Taliban people are Sunni Muslim. They will target the Shia. So in order to safeguard the Shia people within Afghanistan, they were trying to help, they were trying to negotiate with Taliban. So in these circumstances, will India negotiate with Taliban? This was the biggest problem. By the time only India had election last time, 2019 summer. After that, what happened is again Modi government only came to power. Because the biggest challenge for India is Taliban, we can negotiate with Taliban. Taliban is number one enemy for India. If India can negotiate with Taliban, means the biggest question is whether India can negotiate with the separatist group operating within India. Because the separatist group operating within India, they are all our citizens only, according to India. The Kashmiri separatist group, the Northeastern separatist group, they are all our own citizens. Because of some issue, they are fighting against our own government. If we can negotiate with Taliban, means we can definitely negotiate with our own people and have a settlement. So that's why India was under jeopardy. That means a dilemma. Dilemma means this or this. What we can do? Either side we will get into trouble. If you are negotiating with the Taliban, then we have to negotiate with our local terrorist people. If you are not negotiating with Taliban, and the Taliban became a legitimate organization and all countries open relationship with Taliban, then it will be easy for Pakistan to use Taliban against India. So either way, India got into it. That's why intelligently what government have done, instead of going for a political guy, the present government appointed Jai Shankar as the foreign minister, who have a vast experience in diplomacy. Earlier he was a foreign secretary of India. Earlier he was ambassador to India, to US. That's why Jai Shankar is there. So now the good thing for India is US relationship with Taliban is again going down because Taliban is again involving in violence, killing US citizens, some attacking some military base. So the peace talks between US and the Taliban is not going towards a fruitful end. That you have to know. Okay. So now India is under issue. Okay, you ask your question at the end of the class. So Taliban. So now India has, see, Taliban needs legitimacy. No, everybody are negotiating with Taliban. India is not negotiating with Taliban. Means Taliban is opening that means what you say, a way or a forum with India that I will not intervene with respect to India, Pakistan, Jammu Kashmir problem. Why can't you negotiate with me? Let us talk. If India talks with Taliban, means it will be everybody are negotiating with Taliban. Like that, Taliban will become a legitimate organization. Because Taliban power has came down, but US was not completely able to eliminate Taliban. Why? Means because if you wanted to completely eliminate Taliban, means you have to kill half of the Afghan population. Like that, it is there. So that is not possible. Okay, so that's why US itself open negotiating with Taliban. India was the only country who did not openly, in a positive way, negotiated with Taliban so far. That's why Taliban is trying to negotiate with India. Because India's biggest problem with Taliban is Taliban are pro-Pakistan people. Because in 1990, when Taliban began to control Afghanistan, with the support of Pakistan, only Taliban came to power. And Taliban defeated a group of people who were supported by India. What we call it as Northern Alliance in Afghanistan. Northern Alliance were defeated, Taliban came to power with the help of Pakistan. So that's why India was not able to negotiate with Taliban, And Pakistan used this. See, on the day Taliban came to power in Afghanistan, India is facing cross-border terrorism. So the Taliban aided terrorist organization, only creating problem with India. That's why India cannot negotiate with Taliban. But now Taliban is telling that it is given in one particular statement. It said that Taliban is not interested in Jammu and Kashmir. It is a problem between Pakistan and India. Let them sort it out. I will not intervene. By issuing this kind of statement, Pakistan is literally trying to say, Taliban is telling to say that India can open negotiation with Taliban. Taliban is now ready to engage with India. But now Taliban is not having good terms with the US now. Although they have signed a deal, the deal is not going in positive direction. So obviously, all we have to do is we have to wait and watch policy. Wait and we have to watch what is going to happen. After that, only finally we have to decide. Okay. So this is regarding India and US. With respect to China, India wants China. See, what US wants from China is US wanted to completely undermine China. US is for US, China is the number one competitor. So US doesn't want China to be number two. Anytime China is now trying to become number one, that US should not allow. For that only it is looking for partners near in Asia, in and around China to counter China. For that only the Quad was being founded. Quad means the 4 countries: US, Japan, Australia, India. Okay, and US finds that India, through India, we can contain China. This is what US wants. But what is India's idea towards China? What India wants is, India doesn't want to contain China, undermine China. All India wants is China should not intervene in our internal affairs, should not dominate our India in any international politics. So China should not dominate India. This is what India wants. So our idea is to just to balance China in everything, in all international affairs, whatever issue it is there, China should not dominate India. This is what India wants. But US wanted to undermine India. Although India and China doesn't like China, India and US doesn't like China, US wanted to destroy China. India wanted just to coexist with China. That means China should not overlook India. So this is what India wants. So that's why what US thinks is, US want India to wage a war against China. US will support India. But India have to fight a war with China. This is what US wants. But US will never open direct war with China. Okay, because it know if 1 and 2 are fighting means both the countries will go down. 3, 4, 5 who are not participating in the war will become 1 and 2, 3. This is how US became number 1. Okay, so this is the reason. So, but India is not in a position to fight a war with China. We have to avoid war because we have not become very strong. We are getting stronger, but not stronger enough to, we can defend ourselves, but we can't go offensive. This is the understanding. So for that it will take time. Okay, slowly only we can do it. But until that we don't want war. But the US want war, and that too, Trump's credit rating, that means his popularity in US is going down. He's going to face election in 3-4 months. So because this COVID-19 also, US was the biggest victim. Lot of people died in US. Lot of people got affected in US. So ultimately, what the US president wants is, for his election agenda, he wanted to make a villain, so that so China becomes a common enemy, and all the US people will come behind Trump to fight against China. So this is what Trump wants. That's why Trump is going against China, and even in this what US also opened statement in favor of China. That you know. But with respect to China, Japan always supports India. Australia also is now doesn't have good relation with China. No, they also express their support to India. Okay, so now all the Quad 4 members are supporting. That means we are having a understanding against China. Apart from that, so yesterday we have appointed one of the top diplomat as an ambassador to Taiwan, as a diplomat to Taiwan, to negotiate with Taiwan. Okay. So we are mounting pressure on China. We are raising issues against China. Because last week what happened is, in Pakistan there was a terrorist attack in the stock exchange of Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan openly issued a statement that this terrorist attack was done by India only, which India did not have any role. But they wanted to create bad name for India. Using China, they tried to pass a resolution in United Nations. But what happened is, US and Germany, they blocked this resolution in favor of India. Okay, so this is all we have to know with respect to US. Okay, US and India. So now time for question and answer. You can ask questions, I will answer. Yes, Altaf Zain. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So, as you said, that US accept our vulnerability, right, regarding our defense equipment with Russia.
Yes, yes.
But last week there is one news regarding CASTA.
Yes.
That US tried to sanction against India to stop the deal regarding S-400 defense.
Yes. So that we will discuss during Russia. US doesn't want India to buy these big equipments.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you won't buy anything from US, no?
Yeah, right.
US doesn't like India buying these big deals with Russia. Yes, it is doing it. But what I'm telling is, it cannot openly, fully pressurize India. US will put pressure. Already we have made the payment. One order is going to be coming to India by 2021. So US cannot completely pressurize India. That we have to know. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And then Vimaladitya.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Sir, Trump has asked India's help in the Afghanistan by providing India's troops, sir. But India doesn't provide its troops. I need whether India has provided its army to any countries war in the past.
Because you see, India will never send our army to fight against any West Asian countries. Including Afghanistan, because it is their problem. Okay. See, that means we should have an independent Afghanistan policy. Because US is asking, we can't send our army there. So if we send our army tomorrow, US withdrew, means we will be alone fighting against the Taliban. Which India, it is beyond India's capacity. Because 19 years of US attack on Taliban survived. How can India can eliminate Taliban?
Yes, sir.
So it is not good for India. The decision is a good decision only.
Sir, recently I have come across a question, sir. I was confused with that, so shall I ask?
Yes.
Sir, India was not providing its troops outside India's border.
Yes.
So how can it request the other members in the United Nations to provide a membership in Security Council like that?
No, see, US, India, not this. When US asked India to send our troops to fight along with US against Taliban, India rejected it. But India clearly has said that even for eliminating ISIS, I am telling. India said that India is not going to send our troops, but if United Nations takes action, means India will send our troops. This is our clear our policy. See, India supports all United Nations efforts. If United Nations decides, means India will 100% participate, because you have to note that so far India was the largest troop contributor to United Nations. Note this is one of the credentials. But now India is third largest, because Bangladesh and Pakistan, they are also contributing. But for nearly 4 or 5 decades, India was the largest contributor of troops to United Nations peacekeeping mission. Okay. So if United Nations takes action against Taliban or ISIS, whoever it be, India will 100% definitely will participate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Actually, US is doing it, means we can't do it. That's what India said. This is India's policy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And then Haripriya.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding these NSG. So I surmise that, NSG. So I surmise that only reason we are accessing NSG is with technology of nuclear energy. So what is
See, why I can't understand your English.
okay?
Ah.
Sir, the only reason why we want to enter NSG is to access nuclear technology.
Yes, nuclear
So
technology, reactors, and raw materials, everything.
okay.
Ah,
So
okay.
what is inhibiting India's capacity in developing our own nuclear technology? So what are the hindrances in that?
See, the thing is, just imagine you don't have petrol, diesel, etc. Do you think that you can excel in automobile industry? You can develop our own automobile industry. See, you don't have raw material, then how you will run the engines? Can you understand? Like that, see, we don't have uranium, which is the base material. Okay, so if you don't have the fuel uranium, then how can you manufacture an engine? We have only 1% of uranium. That uranium is very small amount only. That is enough for our military requirement. That's why indigenously we tested nuclear weapon. But if you wanted to go for commercial purpose, that means for civil purpose, for producing electricity, means we need a lot of uranium. Uranium we don't have. We are at the mercy of other countries. All the countries who have the reactor technology and uranium, they are members in energy. So we are at the mercy of energy.
Okay, so this one I got the materials, sir, but I'm asking what about the technology? Why can't we develop our own reactors?
See what I am telling is, you don't see if you don't have petrol and diesel, how will you manufacture a bike? If you don't have the raw material uranium, means how will you manufacture a reactor? Okay, so and what is the use of, see, even you can do it with our minimum resources uranium. You have we are excelled in that reactors, man. What is the use of having a reactor without the fuel?
Okay.
So fuel is basic. If you have fuel, means based on that we have to develop the technology.
Okay.
That fuel, means how will you develop the technology? So
Okay.
country who have developed the new uranium based technology or the country who have uranium only. Okay, raw material is the base for developing any technology, that you have to know.
Okay. Now I get it, sir.
No technology. What is the use of the technology? But we have thorium. Okay, but we don't have the uranium technology. Using the uranium based technology only, we have to develop the thorium based technology. So what you do after the class, you just to go and check India.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Three-staged uranium nuclear stages. The third stage only thorium comes.
Okay, get it.
After that, we can independently develop.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Roshini.
So good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, why we are not still getting nuclear supplies, though we have changed that compensation provisions? I asked that.
Yes. See, the point is, we are getting it. We are on the negotiation. We don't have any issue now. But the company which was about to give us went down. Diwal.
Oh, okay, sir.
So it is very unfortunate for India that the US company named Westinghouse. We are negotiating with them. We are about to pay them. When we are able to pay that particular company, because of its own reason, financial problem or some other problem, it collapsed in US. So in a collapsed company, if you are going and giving money, means what will happen? They won't give you reactors. Our money will be gone. That's why India is waiting for some time. Okay, it is now recovering. That company is recovering. So shortly we will get it.
Okay, sir. So next, why US is allowing India to continue the Chabhar port, sir?
Why means because through Chabahar port, India said that if you are not allowing me to access Chabahar port, then I will not go to Afghanistan. I will not help Afghanistan. Then US said that US number one interest here is it wanted to pull out its forces. So it wants somebody to take care of Afghanistan. If through Pakistan we can't go to Afghanistan. Through Chabahar port, US is not allowing means, then we won't go to Afghanistan. Then how come US can pull out its forces? So because it is benefiting US is allowing.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Stevenson.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Stevenson.
Sir, my doubt is, what is the criteria for a region to be UN administered, sir? I had this doubt. UN administered. You said that Jerusalem was being UN administered region. So
See,
on what?
United Nations Security Council have to pass a resolution. That area should be a most disturbed area. Lot of killing should be there. So United Nations intervenes means it will do that. There is nothing called criteria. United Nations Security Council have to approve it. That's it.
Okay, sir. My another doubt is, sir, you said that if we get the nuclear equipments and if we harness power and if we give it to our consumers, that means Indian citizens, we can also sell it to foreign countries, no, sir? For
Yes,
example,
we can sell it. See, with Sri Lanka, we have signed agreement for selling it to Ceylon. Yes. Civil
sir,
technology subject to IAEA.
okay, sir. My doubt is, so if we can sell at a lower tariff for our citizens and at a higher tariff for foreign countries, we can tally the amount, no, sir. So that way we can be in a situation of no gain, no loss. So why can we charge like that, sir? Tariff can be charged.
See, we ourselves are depending upon other country for reactor and technology. So you are telling that we will buy it for less price and sell it outside for higher price. Means why can't they directly buy it from US and other country? See, A is selling a particular commodity to B for 10 rupees. So B is buying it for 10 rupees from A and selling it to C for 15 rupees. Means, do you think that this is a business? C will directly buy it from A for 10 rupees. Can you understand?
Sir, no, sir. I'm asking if we are having the technology, sir. They are not having the technology. We have imported. They have not yet imported. So we are at an advantage over them. So we can sell, no, sir. Like that, I'm asking.
See, we can sell, but they will buy directly from the number one seller. No, why they wanted to buy it with India when India itself doesn't have the technology and reactor? Okay, maybe after we become expert in thorium, when we indigenously manufacture everything, and we are best in that particular energy, and we can do it in a cheaper and efficient way. After that, this may be possible. For that, it will take a lot of time.
Sir, this applies to every other source, no, sir. If we harness power from coal, solar energy, wind
Yes.
energy, we can charge any tariff to our citizens as well as to foreign countries. We can charge, no, sir. We have that advantage, or should we ask someone else?
See, the point is to satisfy our own power needs. See, we don't have power. This is present situation. You are talking very utopian. Utopian means if everything we have means we can sell. If India is number one country means India can dominate the entire world. That and all good only. But is it possible? See, today we need a lot of energy. India is not self-reliant in energy. We are depending upon others. Then how India can make this a commercial one?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And then Revati.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, last class you told about our stand in China One Road Initiative, Belt and Road Initiative.
Yes.
Our third approach is to solve the issues to gain entry of the US to
Yes.
push US to join the.
China and China also should not dominate us.
Okay, so in that case, what about our territorial
No.
sovereignty?
After solving everything, only it will be it is possible. See, this is a option. That's what I'm telling. I'm not telling India is doing this. See, if the territory is getting affected, means how India will go and join a particular project which will affect our territorial integrity and sovereignty. That's why what our Prime Minister said. Even though it is a mega project, we should respect the territorial integrity and sovereignty. Like that, our Prime Minister said when China asked India to come and join. This is a big project, minor violation means why are you making it big? Like that, China gave a statement. India said that even if it is minor, it should respect territorial integrity and sovereignty. Otherwise, India will not join. So this is a present question. But what I'm telling is in a long run. So China, suppose India also settles the POK with Pakistan. India solves all our problem with China. Like that, that is not going to happen. When it is going to happen, whether it is going to happen, no, I'm telling no guarantee. See, you have to say something forward. No, you are a diplomat. So you, see, we are doing diplomacy. In a positive way, we have to settle all the disputes through negotiation. So using negotiation, India, China, Pakistan, everybody settled the issue. Means How India will settle means when if India joins Belt and Road Initiative, and that border problem will be solved. Number one, the CPEC problem will be solved, and then India also will ensure that China will not dominate India. For that, India will include the US. Like that, I'm telling what do you say, an ideal answer. Okay, this is not going to happen.
Okay, sir.
But you have to give a positive note, in your answer. So way
Sure.
do or die, either China should be there or India should be there. Like that and all, you can't write an answer. A possible
sir.
although it is difficult. This is what we have to try. See, we have to try for that best ideal method. But whether it is going to happen, no guarantee. Definitely less possible probability only is there to do like this. But India also becomes very stronger than China means in one sense. Then China may be afraid of India means then China will come to a deal. Possibility is there. Okay, we don't know. See, because before 50 years, China is not at all a country, not at all a powerful country. 30 years before, India is not at all been consulted in anything. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So before 100 years, US is not a very big country in terms of power. So anything may happen in 50 to long run, 50 to 60 years, 100 years. So in that way, I am telling. Okay, we don't know. So these are all suggestions only. Suggestions you can give a positive way. So with respect to Pakistan, we can sit together, solve all the problems and settle Kashmir in a peaceful method. Like we can give a suggestion. But whether it is possible, I don't know. But that doesn't mean that we have to use nuclear bomb and settle the issue with Pakistan. Like that, you can't end an answer. No? So for purpose here.
Sir, and also you told that if US want to wipe out this Taliban from Afghanistan, they have to destroy half of the Afghan population.
Yes.
So what does it mean, sir? Like,
see, in Afghanistan, many people are tribal people. People are from all these tribal villages. Okay, so either you have to put a nuclear bomb and destroy Afghanistan, then only Taliban will be over. Otherwise, Taliban will be everywhere. See, on the other side, if you see, don't always see Taliban as a terrorist organization. Who made these people very strong? It was US. US support only they became very strong. So earlier they will be common people, then they will be rebels, then they will become terrorist people. So common people are also there. Innocent population are there. See, because one guy is a terrorist guy, he can't put a bomb on his house, kill his entire family, wife, small children, elderly people. So it's not possible to eliminate. That means after 19 years of war, US finally understood this. That's what I'm telling you. US, how much big country US is, how much powerful US is, how much sophistication US is having in terms of technology, satellite, etc. Even then, they were not completely able to eliminate Taliban. They were minimized, but not eliminated. Because it is not possible. The Taliban people are also supporting them to some extent.
So the Taliban people are indigenous to
local population.
Afghanistan, and because of certain reasons they became rebel. Yes.
Because foreign countries are coming and occupying their country, that's why they become rebels and terrorist people. Even these Mujahidins were developed by US against Russia when Russia invaded Afghanistan. When Russia withdrew, Mujahidins began to fight with the US. Then US said that Mujahidins are terrorist people.
Okay.
In case, who helped these terrorist people? That question nobody is asking because US is number one. Can you understand? Yes.
Okay. So how to frame, like sir told that bilateral issue is all about the current affairs. So how can we frame? So we have to have an ability to frame the question out of this current affairs. So
see, questions means you have to ask me. Just to contact me in Telegram. I will give you questions. You can. That's
okay.
Okay. You can't. How can you yourself frame the question? That is not possible. And previous year question also will not be useful. Why means because this is a dynamic subject. On the day, that question may be relevant. If you are answering 2 years before that mains question paper means completely relevant.
Yes,
your situation completely changed. So this is the only subject in your mains 100% dynamic subject.
Okay, sir.
Just contact me in Telegram.
Yes, of course. Sir.
If you want, I will send you questions.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Yes, Raj.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, today there was a news that Iran and China had come to a deal that China will invest billions of dollars in Iran,
Yes.
and Iran will supply oil to China for the next 25 years, sir.
Yes.
How
yes.
this is going to affect India, sir? Is it going to affect?
No, this is going to affect means US is putting pressure on India not to help Iran, not to have relation with Iran.
Yes, sir.
If India reduces our oil dependence and China is already Iran's number one customer, India is only number two only. So they are strengthening the relationship. Means we will lose our foothold in Iran. That is the understanding.
Okay, so in any way it will affect our foothold in Chabahar port, sir?
Yes, yes, chances are there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Harish.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Why US is always
என்னப்பா பின்னாடி ஏதோ யானை மாதிரி ஏதோ கத்துது.
Sorry, sir. Some construction work is going.
Okay, no issue. Okay.
Sir, did you get my question, sir?
No. I am not able to hear.
Sir, why US is always combating terror instead of UN, sir?
See, UN is an inefficient organization. Without powerful countries, UN cannot do anything. Okay, US is number one country. That's why US is doing everything. Can understand? See, UN is a powerless organization. Without the powerful countries, US is not cooperating with UN. Means UN is a waste only. Nothing will happen in UN. Okay, so UN. That's why India is wants UN to change its structure. Amendments in US. UN. Can understand? Okay, UN. India also wanted to become UNSC. So this is what India is. We wanted to change everything. Okay. Then Sanjay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sanjay. Yes. Yes, Sanjay. What is your question? Sanjay.
Hello, sir.
Yes. You are not able to hear. See, your voice is very loud. Okay. My voice is very loud. Or it's not problem, just to type it in chat. I will answer the rest.
Hello.
See, what you do is you just type it in the chat. I will answer. Okay. I'm not able to hear you.
Sir.
Yes, Karthik.
ஹலோ குட் ஆஃப்டர்நூன் சார்.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
சார் ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன டவுட். அந்த கடைசியில் சொன்னீங்களா சார், நம்ம யூஎஸ் வந்து ஆப்கானுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணது, இந்தியா வந்து மிலிட்டரி அனுப்ப சொல்லி. ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன டவுட் சார், அந்த இது மட்டும் தான் மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார். எதுக்கு சார் யூஎஸ் ஆப்கானுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுது?
US already have waged war in Afghanistan. 2000 வந்து terrorist attack நடந்ததா USல. So after that, US sent its army to Afghanistan to eliminate this Al-Qaeda, Taliban, etc.
Okay, sir.
19 years they are fighting with each other.
Okay, sir.
Not able to completely eliminate it. So they are successful in eliminating what is that guy? That Osama bin Laden. But
okay,
the organization is not completely eliminated.
Actually, the Taliban people are originating from Pakistan, sir.
No, Pakistan, Afghanistan border la irukanga. Pro Pakistani support la da avanga they came to power in Afghanistan in 1980.
Oh, Pakistan nalla.
Pakistan supporters. They are supporters of Pakistan.
Oh, okay, sir.
The reason why India doesn't like Taliban.
Oh, okay, sir. அடுத்த ஒரு டவுட் சார், பியூரோக்ரஸினா என்ன சார்?
பியூரோக்ரஸினா ஆபீசர்ஸ் தான் பியூரோக்ரஸின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
அப்ப பியூரோக்ராட்ஸ் தான் சார் ஆபீசர்ஸ்னுவாங்க.
அதான் பியூரோக்ராட்னா ஆபீஸ், பியூரோக்ரஸினா ஆபீசர்ஸ் டீல் பண்றது.
ஓ, ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
ஒரே வேர்ட்.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, sir.
Then,
Hello, sir.
yes.
Sir, by becoming a member of NSG in the future, can we in any way test nuclear weapons? Is it allowed, sir?
No, they won't. See, no country can test nuclear weapon nowadays. Okay.
Even the P5 countries, you're saying?
P5 countries also, P5 countries also will not test nuclear. Already they have tested enough weapons.
Okay.
So if any country is going for nuclear weapon, means you are going offensive. You are threatening other country. That is not allowed.
Okay. Sir, currently we already have many nuclear deals with many supplier countries. So
Yes.
what else would NSG do for us actually?
See, yes, this is a good question. The point is already we can access nuclear technology reactor from all countries. But that is just a waiver. That is means like a discount. Discount sales is there. 50% discount everybody means only for that month only you will get the discount. Maybe after some time they may take down the discount and you have to pay the full price. Like that. This is a waiver only. The waiver we are getting it only until US is supporting India. Before that, if India becomes a member in energy, means then after that the energy members cannot take any decision against India because everything will be decided in consensus only. India itself will put a veto.
Okay, sir.
I can understand. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Then Akshay.
Hello.
Yes, Akshay.
What is the position of China in Afghanistan and the Taliban?
See, the point is the Afghanistan. See, China is also a victim of terrorism on one side. On the other side, the CPEC, everything is going in Pakistan corridor. No, not only that, the Silk Road economic belt is also going in the Central Asia, West Asia. Okay, but this terrorist attacks is not there on Chinese investment. Can you understand?
Yeah. Why is that?
Why means I'm telling you. On the other side, whenever India was trying to bring some of the terrorist group as United Nations terrorist list, China blocks it. Because China is a super P5 country. Now, once China blocks, for next 6 months, we can't bring that resolution. So 3-4 times we brought that resolution, China blocked India. That means there is an understanding between the terrorist organization and China that you should not allow me, that means allow our organization to become listed under UN terrorist list. In return, we won't harm you. Like that, they have an understanding. Can understand?
Okay.
So this is a problem for India. China, one side is a victim of terrorism, other side supporting some terrorist people indirectly, and these terrorist people are against India. So this is the position of India.
Okay, even if Taliban is going to come into power in Afghanistan in future,
in that circumstances, China will negotiate with Taliban. Taliban and China don't have direct issues. Only India and US and Russia have direct issue. Russia and US are ready to negotiate because US just for the sake of coming out of Afghanistan, they are negotiating. Russia thinks that by doing this, the terrorist issues in Russia will come down. India is the problematic country, still having problem with Taliban.
So then I have another doubt, because the statement you made that Russia is also an terrorism and they suffer because of Taliban. Then why in the recent news we came to see that they are funding Taliban to behead these American soldiers in their land?
Who is funding?
Russia.
Shia.
Russia is paying Taliban Talibans to kill American soldiers.
No, see, US uses terrorists to be this kind of people against Russia. Russia is now using it against US. That is because of Russia-US problem. And moreover, Taliban and US, Russia have some understanding, means the terrorist people within Russia will not get the support from this Pakistani-based or Taliban-based groups. Maybe that may be the problem, but Taliban is a problem for Russia. But sometimes they may use it against their enemy.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Yes, Arvind Kumar.
Good afternoon, sir. Is it audible?
Yes.
Sir, when it comes to the defense equipments, you said that 80% of our defense procurement are from Russia, correct?
Yes.
So the
Already
rest
procured. Already
procure.
procured.
Okay, the rest 20%, like, is it made in India or we are procuring
No,
from some other
nothing is
countries
made
as
in
well?
India. India doesn't produce anything. Okay, we are buying it from Israel, some from US, some from other countries. Like that, for
Okay.
example, in the Rafale, we are buying it from France, not like that.
Okay. So, but recently we've tied up with our Indian-based company. Russia's tied up, and we are manufacturing something, sir.
Yet that is Russia made only. So we have a tie-up, but without Russia, our companies cannot do anything.
Okay, R&D is from this and manufacturing process alone here.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, sir. The other one is when it comes to Afghan. So why India is neglecting the direct negotiation with Taliban, sir?
Why means because if India and Taliban is number one enemy of India, number one terrorist group. If you negotiate with Taliban, will you negotiate with the Kashmir separatist people who are our citizens according to India? The separatist people in Kashmir and states, they are our people, our own people. Am I right?
Yes.
So will India open negotiate with them? If
they'll not.
Have your problem with big demon, number one devil, how can you will you negotiate with the 2-3 devil which is our people are in our own country? So that's why when all people are negotiating with Taliban, India now got into trouble.
Okay, I get it, sir. One more thing, sir. Sir, when it comes to Afghans, power, US is the country that established democracy in Afghan, correct?
Yes.
But the current party in the power, it's like two presidents are there, right? If I'm not wrong.
See, that is the people's decision. The democracy is not working there. The present president won the number two is not accepting the result.
Can we say that US failed to impart democracy properly in Afghan?
Yeah, no, they failed. They successfully put democracy, but democracy failed in Afghanistan.
Okay.
So the US successfully implemented democracy, but democracy is failing Afghanistan because for those kind of people, democracy will not work. Because for democracy to work, you have a well-educated people, a civilized people. Civilized people. For Western country, democracy. For Asian country, India partly working. In India also, many times we have heard 500 rupees a bottle of biryani means people will vote. But in US, England, other people will not be like it. So in a well-educated society, democracy will work nice. So democracy will solve all the problems of the world. It is a myth. People are barbarian. You need a barbarian king. Then only he can control that particular people.
All right. So the solution for India and Taliban to get together is is it only way when the Afghan government intervenes in it, or how it works, sir?
No, we don't like to negotiate with Taliban. But Taliban, one person, one important thing, leaders, one group of leaders, they are issuing statement against India. Another group of leaders, they are giving good statement with respect to India. Not intervening Jammu Kashmir like that. Okay. So we can't predict this Taliban.
Okay. So it's only better only if we eliminate Taliban from Afghan, it will be
Complete
safer.
elimination. Now, elimination means not reduced to the minimum. They should be completely eliminated.
All right.
Only it is good for India. So this is our stand so far.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Akshay. Akshay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the current Atmanirbhar scheme has introduced reforms which will promote the indigenous production of defense equipments within India.
Yes.
So will Russia and US have any concerns about this? Because
no
the dependency on them will be decreased.
No. So in this we have one more program called Make in India program. Under this program, we want Russian industries to start industry in India.
Okay.
We want finance and technology from them, and we will provide them raw materials and labor. Okay, because Russia, from Russia, it cannot sell all its equipments all over the world. No, so let them produce in India and sell it to other country. So like that, we may have some understanding. Make in India program.
Okay. That will be like a FDI.
Yes, FDI will come. Technology also they will share. It will be easy to export from India to any country than from Russia to any other.
So, sir, will this affect India and US relationship in any way?
No, US also like that with US also we can also have some joint collaboration. Okay. So see, certain things they can share, certain things they won't share. Okay. For example, hi-fi equipment means they want to share it with India. India. Small items means they will do it.
Okay, like exclusivity to be maintained.
Yes. So so if they start an industry in India, means India will buy more things from US. That is the understanding.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. 1 minute. Explain the point undermine India's dependence on Iran and Russia. See, India is buying oil from Iran. If India is not buying oil from Iran, means then Iran will not get money. Iran will go down. Now, why India will not buy oil from Iran? Why India is buying oil from Iran means we need more electricity. Through nuclear technology, now we are producing more electricity. So instead of going for an oil-based current, we are producing for nuclear-based current. Like that with Russia, if US helps India, then obviously what will happen? India will go very near towards US, and Russia will lose a friend. That's the understanding. Explain India's Civil Liability Damages Act. Starting like that. See, it is an act which is going to provide 1,500 crore in case of accident. Okay, so it is an act. See, in case they are going to start an industry. If something accident happens in that particular industry, means who is going to pay the damages? For that, we have to pass a law. That law is called India's CLND Act, Civil Liability Damages Act. So, according to this act, we will get 1,500 crore worth rupees. Okay, as damages. Ready-made amount will be available. And then, witness separate topic for Afghanistan in bilateral class. Yes, we can have. Okay. And then, but nothing more to discuss about Afghanistan. Already we have discussed the present question of Taliban, the US negotiation in Taliban. Okay. Then Pooja is asking, we need raw material and technology to enter into energy. No. To enter into energy, other energy members should not put a veto. Okay. Or if we have raw material and technology, means already we might have become a member in energy. Because we don't have these two things, that's why we need energies mercy to access these things from other countries. And then, but India only have less. And how can we get into energy? See, tomorrow we can access these reactors technology from other countries. We also can produce something. No? That technology we should not share it with other countries. No? So those things will be done. Okay, by the time we can enter into energy. We will have once we get certain things, we will have the capacity to produce nuclear reactors, our own nuclear reactor. So we should not share it with other countries. Now to do that, energy members will ask us to enter into energy. Whether it is there any condition to access international pool of fund for nuclear damage? Yes. The condition is first 2,610 crore we have to spend ourselves. If the damage crosses 2,610 crore, then we can access the international pool. What happens if consecutive nuclear damages occurs? For every nuclear reactor, 1,500 crore insurance pool will be there. Not 1,500 crore for every nuclear reactor. No. Every reactor means 1,500. Okay. What is special drawing rights currency? For that, we have to discuss a lot. This is being used in World Bank and IMF. How much we are contributing to that? Based on that, we have rights to get loans. That right, how much right to get loan, that is being indicated as special drawing rights. Chabahar port belongs to India or Iran? It belongs to Iran, developed by India. Does India got waiver of CAA-TSA to some extent? So the CAA-TSA Act was not implemented very forcibly on India. The nuclear and arms trade comes under WTO. No, WTO is all about trade only, not arms trade, defense trade. Please explain India's Civil Liability Act. Already have. Can you say a bit about two slides? Okay. And then meaning of USA protectionism concept. See, for that we have to discuss WTO. Next class we will discuss WTO. In the WTO says that we should not give subsidy to the local players and put taxes on foreign countries' product. If you put taxes on foreign country product and give subsidy to your farmers, means your local players, means that is called protectionism. US is now doing it. This is against WTO. So no one should protect their economy by discriminating the foreign product. Will you tell European Union that's published in today's newspaper? I didn't read the newspaper, but we'll discuss European Union, don't worry. Okay, European Union that published in today's newspaper. Regarding what you have to tell me. I didn't get the newspaper. Newspaper is not coming here to my home because of the lockdown. Okay, but anyway, I will check it. But we will discuss European Union in some other class. Or just tell me what is the topic. I will tell you what is all about. Even if not, I don't know what they have told today. What is that is about? That I will tell you. Or you contact me in Telegram. I will answer. Okay. So this I will search in net and then I will. You tell me about European Union, the published. Okay, that's all. I have answered all the questions. Okay.